Well, it has come to this. We have reached the episode. One of the most hated episodes in all of Doctor Who. Love and Monsters. And after watching this again for the second time in a few months, couple months, I gotta say, why? I don't get it. I don't get the hate this episode. This episode is actually really well done. Like, there are a couple things that you could say about this. Oh, the Doctor's not the main focus. So what? There's other Dr. Light episodes. One of the best, my personal favorite episode, Blink, is a Dr. Light episode. So throw that out the window. Oh, the way the monster looks. You can take that and you can shove it because the monster was actually designed by a 10-year-old kid who's probably in his 20s now. But he designed it in a contest. So you can't use that as an excuse either. And for those of you who will probably say, yes, you can, who cares about a kid? I say, shut the hell up. You can't. I know you can give kids criticism, but you can't bash this. He won a contest. So the costume designers had to do something. The dry skin on my hand is itching, I'm sorry. No. I can say there's some jokes here and there. And maybe the biggest one is the blowjob block. Yeah, we'll get to that. I actually think it's a pretty funny joke myself, but I like that kind of humor, so that's probably just me. But overall, I don't hate this episode. The first time I saw it, I thought it was weird because the Doctor wasn't in it as much. I didn't understand what was going on. I thought the monster was kind of stupid. But now knowing all the backstory of this episode and where it came from and why they did it, which, by the way, when they were renewed, they had a block of episodes, a bunch of episodes, and they had to do filming. So at one point, they had to film one without the Doctor in most of it because of the filming schedules. So that became this. So let's sit down. Let's talk about it. By the way, pretty sure in the middle of this review, you're going to hear a beep from my microwave. It's my timer for my laundry. But I will get it after I'm done with this, apparently. Said I had 30 minutes, and then it took a little while. It was like 20 minutes, and then, yeah, okay. So this is, like I said, a Dr. Light episode. Means the Doctor is not in it very much, but it is very much focused on the Doctor as well. Follows a group of people who have heard of the Doctor and are trying to track him down and, figure out who he is, where he comes from, that whole sort of thing. Which leads us to Jackie Tyler, Victor Kennedy, all that stuff. Our main character in this episode is Elton Pope, a man who had an encounter with the Doctor when he was a child. The Doctor was in his flat when he was a child, and he can't remember why. We find out why later, and so he becomes obsessed with finding the Doctor because he witnessed several key events in London over the past couple of years. So keep in mind that. So are we to believe that the events of Rose take place in 2004? Because look at the timeline. That happens. Goes out with the Doctor, and then when they come back, she goes out with the Doctor. When they come back in Aliens of London, it's been 12 months, a year. But from what I remember, we're still in 2006 now, in this point. So does that mean that Rose takes place around? Is it Christmas time around that time? Not Christmas time, but takes place around 2004, right? which is weird because in the epilogue of the end of time, doesn't it say 2005? It's awkward. It was New Year's of 2005, right? So it's a little confusing. Has it just been 2006 since the Aliens of London? No, because we had Christmas. So it'd be 2007. And we're like, it's confusing because that 1 year time jump, and they didn't correct it by just taking Rose back right after the events of the first episode. But I don't know. But we see he witnessed everything, pretty much. He was shopping when the Autons attacked. He was out and about when the Slovene ship crashed into the Thames. He hit the Big Ben and then crashed into the Thames. And he was around when the Sycorax. He was sleeping in his bed when the Sycorax came around on Christmas. He was there. He saw everything. And he's put together this blog. Yeah. And there's a debate on the unreliable narrator. Like, everything he's saying is pulling out his ass. And because most of what we see on camera when he's on camera talking to people in his blog, we never see any of the stuff going on that is told in the story that we see as a Doctor Who episode. Because there's like two different viewers here. So you got the viewers of his blog and you got us. And we are seeing the events as a Doctor Who episode, but the viewers who are watching his blog don't see any of this stuff. He just tells the story. Although, if these are people from the in-universe Doctor Who and have also witnessed stuff like this happening, then I would say, yes, this did happen in-universe. But, So Elton, we are introduced to Ursula early on as the person holding his camera as he is pointing out where he used to live as a child. And Ursula is Moaning Myrtle from Harry Potter. And we should really be counting Harry Potter actors in this because we're going to need to. So we have David Tennant himself, Barty Crouch Jr., John Lumick, the character John Lumick, the actor, I don't remember his name. He was Barty Crouch Sr. And then here we have Moaning Myrtle. Right? So that's three. That's three so far from there. Yeah. And so we also see a point of view of him investigating this industrial part of London where he runs into the Doctor and Rose as they're being chased by this strange creature we know nothing about. And it's always interesting with these Dr. Light episodes. I would like to see the other side of this. I want to see the Doctor's point of view, how they met this creature, what's going on, why they had to appear in the TARDIS back on Earth and chasing this creature around. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense, but So soon after, so this happens, I think, when it's told out of order, but this is, this happens late in the story, but we see it first. And then we get the point of view of his story telling it, He's chased off. He meets Ursula, who tells her that he's not the only one, who tells him, that he's not the only one that has seen the Doctor. Which kind of connects to that guy from Rose, the episode Rose. But he had that whole file in the Doctor. So, it kind of speaks to that, to Doctor Who fan base as well. Excuse me. Sorry. Middle of talking, that's just rude. I'm sorry. It kind of speaks to the Doctor Who fan base as well, that, all these insane conspiracy theories, or what episode theories, or what's going to happen next, or who is Susan Twist? Why is she in every damn episode? Who's Mrs. Flood? River Flood Pond. Is that connection? Who knows? But yeah. But we meet the group. We meet Mr. Skinner, his first name Colin, but they call him Mr. Skinner for some reason. Bridget, who we find out later has an attraction to Mr. Skinner. They try to become a couple, but Bliss, who is musically inclined, and of course Ursula, and we have Elton, of course, and they form a group called London Investigation Detective Agency, like fish and chips, Jesse and Festus, yeah, N, just N, because they couldn't come up with a London Investigation N Detective Agency, or for short, Linda. This might be a point of contention. That's why people don't like this. They're called Linda. And it starts out as them wanting to find out about the doctor, but it becomes more of friends hanging out and having fun. And then they just, discover that Bliss is musically inclined and Bridget can play the piano, and they become like a band. And, Elton loves ELO, Electric Light Orchestra, ELO. Jeff Lynne and the Electric Light Orchestra, he says it. And we get a little bit of Mr. Blue Sky there. Throughout the episode, it actually plays. But yeah, they connect, and everything is happy and hunky-dory until he arrives. Victor Kennedy. From the moment this guy walks in, you're just like, no. Like, first of all, the power goes out, and they play like, oh, all the music and stuff knocked out the power, and then he comes down, and he's just like, lights on. So clearly he did it to make a grand entrance. And if the lights go out, this guy shows up, and then he turns the lights on, I'm like, nah, I'm going home. I'm gonna no. I've seen too many movies, I know. But they don't. They actually start to investigate the doctor, which leads Elton to Jackie Tyler. And I like how he has this whole big speech about, it's one girl, gotta find one girl in the world, in entire London. One girl. There's no way, like he's planning on, there's no way he's gonna do it. One girl, one needle in a haystack, and it cuts to, oh yeah, that's Rose Tyler. She and her mother Jackie. She lived down there. And then he finds Jackie at the laundromat, have a conversation. Like, okay, so maybe he doesn't go about it the right way. He could have just been very forthcoming and been like, hey, I've seen a lot of the weird stuff that has happened over the past year or 2 years, whatever. I think, now I'm thinking about it, I think they forgot about the 1 year time jump in the Aliens of London, because the Christmas special wouldn't make, I don't know, it's just confusing. Trying to line up the timeline with the wobbly. Sure. So he meets Jackie. He could have been forthcoming and be like, I've seen all the weird things that have happened, the aliens showing up, and I know that there's a man named the Doctor, and I know that your daughter is connected to him. And I'm not trying to, I had an encounter with the Doctor when I was a kid, and I'm trying to find him because I want to know what happened. That's all. If he had just come out and said something like this, I think it would be more forthcoming. I think it would have worked better. But instead, he basically tries to seduce Jackie. Well, not really. He talks to Jackie, he becomes her friend, and then she seduces him because it's Jackie. Cast your mind back to the first episode. There's a strange man in my room. Yeah, anything could happen. No. And he walks off. So, yeah, Jackie, yeah. And she brings him over to fix things. It's implied she keeps breaking things so that he can keep fixing it. And so she spills wine on him on purpose to seduce him, but then gets a call from Rose, which makes her sad, and then they decide to just be friends, or mates, because they're British, and he goes to get a pizza, leaving his jacket behind, which contains the picture of Rose. Jackie decides that she'll pay for the pizza, but he's not gonna accept money, so she's gonna put it in his jacket pocket. And that's when she finds a picture of Rose, and she lashes out at him and kicks him out. He tries to explain, and she just won't let him. Again, if he had introduced himself and, explained, now I'm sure she would ask, well, where'd you get this picture of my daughter? Well, there's this guy named as Victor Kennedy. Never heard of him. And so then maybe they would investigate Victor Kennedy sooner. Yeah. Well, also, throughout this, people have been missing. Bliss disappears, then Bridget. They think, and it's Jackie's speech to him and yelling at him that puts him in perspective. And I know we're getting to the point where using people, it's not fair. And he goes off on Victor, and he takes Mr. Skinner and Ursula with, and he even asked Ursula on a date. Not very good, but he does. And you and me, we're gonna go have a Chinese. I mean, you and me in a meal, if that's okay. You could have, I don't know, that's as direct as you could get, but you could have been more softer with it, I guess. But yeah, and then everything goes downhill. Not the quality episode, but for the characters. So they all go to leave, but then Victor says, because, like I said, Mr. Skinner and Bridget, they had a thing. I have Bridget's new number. You stay here, I'll give it to you. Goes, I'll be along. And then they realize that Ursula forgot her phone. So they go back in. I like his line, well, so much for a walk-off. So they go back in just as we find out the truth. This is an alien creature. Yeah, and he's absorbed Mr. Skinner, Bliss, and Bridget, and Bliss is on his ass. Yes, it's a fart drug like that. You don't want to know. My son laughed. It's kind of funny. But especially when you think that this character or creature was designed by a 10-year-old, that's exactly what a 10-year-old would do, is put someone's face on his butt because it's funny. It's 10-year-old humor. It's child humor. It works. But this starts a chase. Well, not exactly. Not yet. Ursula threatens beating him with his cane, and instead of doing it from a distance, she's right there, and so he grabs her. Throughout the episode, he's been saying he has eczema. Not eczema. Eczema. It's something else. He can't touch anyone. And so he grabs her arm and absorbs her. And this is where it's revealed that they can't, once they're absorbed, they can't be unabsorbed. Which I think is bullshit. It's your body. They call him the Absorbaloff, which I have to believe is also what the kid named him. That's not an official name. He's like, yeah, I like that. And I'm just like, but he doesn't have an official name. He's just the Absorbaloff. They give him the name Absorbaloff. And so a chase ensues. The thumbnail. Elton chases him and it looks like Absorbaloff's going to win until Doctor comes out. He stands there right in front of Elton. He goes, someone wants a word with you. Here comes Rose. Pissed off as all hell. Oi! You hurt my mother. What did you do to my mother? What? This is going on and you're yelling at me? Wait, what? You can see the doctor's seen it all. And they call up the Celine. He looks like Celine. Are you from Rex Califalatorius? No. I'm from its twin planet. Clom. Did the 10-year-old write that too? Sorry. No, you can't criticize it, but Clum, was somebody sleeping? Clum. That's it. Clum. I mean, come on. Clum. I know that the joke is Raxacalifalfatorius is a long name, and its sister planet is just Clum. One small word. I get it. But come on. So how is this creature defeated? That might be another point of contention why people don't like it. The Doctor, at first, is just going to let absorb Elton till he's like, they might have something to say about that. And we all stretch out, and then Elton gets a hold of the cane, breaks it, and he's unable to keep together, and we have a sad moment where he's mourning Myrtle, mourning Ursula. And who is it that comforts him? Rose Tyler. Yeah, she came there to scold him, and now she's comforting him. Because she sees that, he's kind of went through pain. But we're not done with the pain for Elton. Because the Doctor reveals why he was there that night. There was a shadow in his flat. He stopped it, but he wasn't able to save her. Because that's the night his mother died. They played up like he forgot that, but how'd you forget your mother's death? And apparently that's the census is that he forgot it. But, and he even says, like, memory's been faulty. And I'm just like, or memory's a weird thing or something. And I'm just like, no, that doesn't make any sense. What will make sense is that he knew his mother died that night, but didn't reveal it to the audience till now. It's sort of a twist. Speaking of twists, we get the back to the vlog thing. He finally got his zoom in, and he reveals that the Doctor was able to use his sonic, or magic wand as he calls it, Harry Potter reference, to bring Ursula into the slab. Return the slab. Excuse me. Into the slab. Concrete. Ursula's face is stuck on it. And they make a blowjob joke. He goes, there's not a bit of a sex life. Elton, let's not talk about that. Now, one thing people point out is that when he's on the vlog, he's holding it like, do I have anything I can use? The notebook, okay? He's holding it like this so that the face is facing him. So we don't see it. So he's just like this. Yes, he's holding it like this. A little too on the, on the nose. But he's holding it like this. And that's, we don't see it. But I choose to believe that everything he's saying happened as it happened. Okay, none of this, unreliable narrator bullshit. No, it happened, okay? Because here's the thing. Even on the vlog, she speaks. You hear the voice. And you can say, oh, but what if that's only in his head? But it's shown through the vlog. But, yeah, and I do like that we don't, it's like much like Blink, it's all told from the perspective of this character. So we start with and end with that character. We don't just come back to the Doctor. No, it ends here. And I'm still sitting here at this point. I've been crying. Just the whole thing with Ursula, like, And I'm sitting here going, why do people hate this episode? I can see if you don't like bits and pieces, but to outright say you hate it and it's one of the worst episodes, especially with what the next episode is. Chloe Webber, I left Chloe Webber. No, there's no comparison between this and the next episode. Just no. No, I actually say this is one of the good ones. I wouldn't put it in a top 10 or anything, but it's certainly a standout. If not for just the reason that it's Dr. Light episode, but I think it works. It shows you the other side of things. The point of view from someone who's just walking by, who's not associated with a doctor, who happens to just be going shopping when the autons are attacked, or sleeping in the bed when the Sycorax show up, or is just walking down the street when the spaceship plows into Big Ben. It shows those who are affected by the Doctor but aren't directly connected to them. You know what I mean? I do think, though, that once Victor Kennedy shows up, it goes downhill for the characters and for the... I don't know. I understand why he has to show up, because if we just go with the way they were, you could have them investigate. Sure, he could still use Jackie, but I don't know. They do get off track, but you could still write it where they don't get off track. I guess you need the monster. I don't know. It's when he comes around and things like, I wish they could have done this episode where all the characters still survive and they all learn a lesson about, the Doctor. Like, why did almost everyone have to be absorbed and die? Why is there a kill count for this episode about the people affected by the Doctor who aren't connected to the Doctor? You know what I mean? It could have been a more straightforward story about these people who are survivors of these events that don't personally know the Doctor and want to get connected to him. Elton, who wants to know what happened the night he first saw the Doctor as a child, just trying to figure that out and meeting these people and coming together. And maybe they manipulate stuff. Maybe that's the thing too. You're from a human point of view. Do we need an alien monster to show up? No, we really don't. For all intents and purposes, Victor Kennedy could have just been a crooked businessman who sees the Doctor as a business opportunity to market stuff. He's seen all the stuff that's happened when the Doctor's around, and so the Doctor's always wanting to save the day. He can see it as a idea to profit, make money, as Doctor is the hero type situation. He didn't need to be an alien monster creature. Even though that's what the show is, I get that. But it's a Dr. Light episode. It could also be a Creature Light episode, where in that one scene where Doctor and Rose are chasing that creature around the industrial section, could be the only time we actually see a creature. Victor Kennedy could be an actual regular human being person who wants to profit off the Doctor. I'm just saying. But overall, I do enjoy the episode. I've never gotten a hate for it. There's little bits and pieces you could say are bad, like the design of the creature. Again, 10-year-old made it. So, the fart joke, maybe the BJ joke, although I did laugh at both of those. But I think overall it's a strong episode. And if I were rating these, it'd get, high praise. It would. I think it's pretty well done. If I'm tearing up at the end, you did your job of what you were trying to do. So, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Love and Monsters? Are you one of those haters? Come on, let me know in the comments. Bring it on. Thank you for watching. I've been Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.